Do you need a college degree to freelance? This video isn't just for somebody considering going to college. It's also for somebody who's been out there as an employee for a few years and you are now deciding that you want to freelance and you're wondering, do I need to go back and get another degree? Do I need to go back and get a master's degree in this subject because it's related to what I'm trying to do as a freelancer? And you might be thinking that that is necessary. It's absolutely not necessary. Let's discuss the impact that degrees have on your ability to build up a freelance business. I don't know about you, but when I graduated college, I didn't have a clue on how to actually earn money. I mean, isn't that the point, right? To go to college, to be able to kickstart your career so you can support your family financially. I didn't know anything about how the financial system works. I didn't even know how to sell my talents to potential employers, let alone as a freelancer. And that sales skill, being able to sell and communicate your value to somebody, is important whether you're freelancing or trying to get an employee job. My training was very traditional, like most people in college. I never learned about freelancing. I never learned about entrepreneurship. I never learned about sound money and financial practices. And, granted, I didn't go to business school, but even business school doesn't teach the type of business that you run as a freelancer. They teach traditional business where you're inventing something and then you're going and finding investors and launching a startup, like some kind of tech startup or something. It's a very different type of business. You don't learn how to be a digital work from home freelancer in college. Your only startup costs are your internet and your computer and some money and savings to hold you off while you build up your business and find those first few clients. Now, I'm not against college existing, and I think it's a fine step for some people, and it's necessary for others that are pursuing specific careers. And there's a lot of employers that still want to see that you have a degree, even if they don't care what the degree is. They just want to see that you have it. In the freelance world, that's not the case. There isn't much that a college degree will offer you. I got a degree in film and media, and the degree itself never once contributed to me getting a client. And no potential client ever asked, hey, by the way, what degree do you have? I don't even include that on my portfolio. It doesn't matter. They just wanted to know what I was skilled at. And in my case, when I was just starting, it was video editing. So they wanted to know that I could edit videos and that I could do it in a certain amount of time that allowed them to pay a certain amount that was a cost they were okay with. And the biggest thing I didn't learn in college was sales. I actually did learn some video editing skills in college because I was studying film and media. So I actually had a video editing class. But that's also something you could easily learn outside of college. And I'm not, when I'm talking about sales, I'm not talking about trying to sell a TV at Best Buy. I'm talking about how to package and sell your talents as a service and how to communicate the value of those talents to a potential client. That's something I had to learn all on my own. All clients really care about is your portfolio of what you've created and what results you've achieved for other clients. And you need to know how to convince somebody to hire you based on that portfolio and based on those skills that you do have. Now, there were some skills I learned in college, like organizational skills, task management, in the process of getting my degree, but I spent over $40,000 to get those skills. You could easily learn those same skills building up a freelance business. You have to learn those same exact skills and you'll just learn it doing it. You could put a few $1,000s if you wanted towards hiring a freelance business coach or taking some online courses, and you're all set. Of what you need to know to be a successful freelancer. You could learn how to video edit watching a bunch of YouTube videos. Much, much cheaper than a degree. There's ways to get educated that are far cheaper than getting a college degree. And honestly, you could spend little to no money just watching YouTube videos and reading books on how to freelance. And that route takes a little longer if you're not paying for like an online course or a coach, but it's cheap and it works. I mean, I've learned more on YouTube in the last 5 years than I ever did in college as far as relevant information to me finding success in my career and business. And that's a little sad. And the naysayers will say, well, YouTube isn't credible. So my professors, they're much more credible. Yeah, well, what I've learned on YouTube has led to me actually building up a successful freelance business and earning over $12,000 a month in just my personal income, not my business revenue. And that's with only working 25 hours a week. And I was able to pay off debt very quickly. And I actually understand how our financial system works and how to work within that in order to find financial security for my family. And so, yeah, it's pretty credible when it produces results like that, results that I could not produce based off the knowledge I got in college. The other issue with college education is that it's very slow. So by the time information gets printed into new textbooks and passed on to the teachers and into the universities and organized into that year's curriculum, the information on some subjects are totally outdated by that point. Some stay relevant longer. Things related to business are constantly changing, so those do not stay relevant very long. Whereas when you're learning online, such as watching YouTube videos, reading somebody's book, taking an online course, hiring a coach, listening to podcasts, it's always very up-to-date information. Now, don't get me wrong, education is always important. It's always the first step to achieving a new goal. You have to gain the education you need, and then you convert that education into skills, and then those skills into results. But college is not the only way to get that education, and it's definitely not the way to learn how to freelance. Colleges and public school, K through 12, they're set up to plug you into the corporate working world as an employee. That's the whole purpose. That's the track that you're on when you go to college. And even if you are going to business school and you're launching a business, they're really not teaching much about self-employment. They're still teaching you to build a business in which you end up then paying yourself an employee salary as a CEO. It's still you're still developing a very traditional business. Whereas in my business, I only hire freelancers. I don't have employees. It's a very different business model. And being an online business is also something that's very different than what you're going to learn in college. So they don't really have your freedom in their best interests when it comes to the traditional school system. They'd rather plug you into this system where you are a cog in this larger thing, and it becomes highly politicized, and you really don't have a lot of freedoms as an employee that you do when you're self-employed. And I talk a lot about that in other videos that you can check out. So let's say you graduated college. You went and got a traditional job. You've been working as an employee for a few years. You've been living paycheck to paycheck, and you really don't have a lot of extra money to invest, such as buying an online course or hiring a coach. Then just start by watching videos on this channel and other channels like this that are teaching freelancing. Go and scour different blogs like my blog and other people's blogs from freelance experts teaching you how to do this. Do not go waste your money on some kind of a master's degree or through the traditional college system. You're not going to learn what you need to know. You'll end up spending years paying off that student debt with your initial income rather than putting it towards other life investments. And if you're young and you haven't gone to college yet and you know that some type of a freelance business and other entrepreneur ventures is what you want to pursue, then you need to reconsider whether going to college at all is even going to be worth it. Just know that your clients do not care. There's tons of kids making a lot of money freelancing and just working through their computer. And their clients don't care whether they have a degree or not. They care whether they have skills. So now if you're raising a family, getting into more debt with a degree definitely is not going to help you. So you want to keep your education as low cost as possible. And college is about the highest cost that you're going to have when it comes to education. So that's it for today. In summary, you do not need a college degree to become a successful freelancer. Enjoy getting educated in the right way about how to be a digital homebody.